done my base, lips and cheeks and eyebrows, so I'm just going to concentrate on the eyes today, and I'm using this, which is the Urban Decay Naked Palette, which looks like that. The only thing I don't like about this palette, I'll get that out of the way now, is the fact that this is velvet. So for someone like me who blends with fingers and so on, I've already got like little smudges on it, and that's a real shame, so I have to be quite careful with it. If you're in a rush or anything like that, you know, it's just something you don't want to have to think about. But other than that, look at these gorgeous shades. They're absolutely delightful. Everything you could want there for any kind of look during the day. As long as it's not too bright or colourful, you can just play about with this palette to your heart's content. So I'm going to put some primer on. The palette does come with a tiny bottle of Urban Decay Primer Potion, but I kind of don't want to use that because I don't want it to dry out while I've got others on the go. So I'm just going to place a tiny bit of the e.l.f. Mineral Primer over the eyelid. Just gently dab that on. And I'm talking tiny, weeny amounts. So I'm going to grab a nice flat brush, and we always begin with something matte when we put our primer on. So I'm going to use something called Naked, which is sort of a taupe, a light taupe brown. And I'm going to just bounce that over the eyelid. It's actually quite dark, even dark for me. But you could use this as your crease colour if you're lighter than me, but I use it as my all over lid colour. And this just sets off everything perfectly. Now the reason I've gone for a nice bright blue hairband is because if I'm wearing a very nude look, this makeup is really nude, I kind of want to cheer it up a bit. So I love this colour blue, it's one of my favourites. Now, the two lightest colours are, that one is called Virgin and that one is called Sin, so the opposites. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of the Virgin colour and pop that on the inner corner just as a highlight, just to open that up. Not too much onto the lid, just the inner corner, and that out. And the tiniest bit under the brow, and then blend that down. So you can see I'm using my fingers and then I touch this palette, so it gets dirty and I get really funny about that. There we are, just a tiny bit under the brow, nothing much needed there. Now I'm going to go for this colour, which is kind of a really shimmery gold colour, and it's I think it's one you can just buy on its own anyway. It's Half Baked. I'm just going to bounce that over the eyelid, mainly in the middle part towards the inner. It really is very, very shimmery. The alternative, if you are lighter than me, is probably Sin in this palette because it's more sort of pinky, but I love this gold. It's delightful. There we go. And then finally, just the last colour I'm going to use is Hustle, which is the third from the end, which is kind of a deep plummy brown sort of colour. I'll just pick up a touch of that and bounce it on the outer corner, like that. Same on the other side. Just dab it onto the outer corner. So I've got my fluffy blender, and I'm going to use a touch of Toasted, which is this sort of pinky colour here. If you want to see close-up photos of this palette, I've got some on my blog, and I'll pop the link down at the bottom. And I'm just going to use that to blend all of those colours together. Now, for someone else, this might be quite a bold, smoky look, but for me, this is a fairly natural, everyday look for me. And I've been sporting this every time I wear makeup because it's just easy, it goes with everything. It's just brilliant. And I think I've got a couple of Urban Decay palettes. I think this has to be the one I'm happiest with. I think I've got one as a Book of Shadows and then the Preen palette, which are all very pretty, but I really do like the versatility of this particular palette. It also comes with a double-ended pencil. I'm going to use the brown one, but say this was going to be a smoky look, then you could mix it with the black maybe. And I'm just going on the outer corners of the lash lines. Now I tend to do a little bit less on this side because you can see it's slightly bigger than this one. So then what I do is put slightly more emphasis on the outer corner of this eye just to open it up a touch. I also place some pencil between the lashes. It helps close it down. But you don't want to do it so it's highly noticeable to everybody. So I've just curled my lashes and now I'm applying some mascara. It's kind of my new favourite and it's an organic brand called Alva Coleur. And this is a deep black mascara. It does quite well to volumise, but I really like it because it gets to the tips of the lashes and really makes them very black. There's like a hair, get off, go back. Nobody said you could come down here. You. And if you sort of do it like this, where you sort of wave it across the end, you really will get the very tips of the lashes and you'll just see them appear in front of you. It's amazing. So there we go. There is our finished naked look. I happily wear this most days since getting the Naked palette, but I would use other colours which are similar from different palettes and different brands. But this is my sort of everyday sort of naked look. Thanks for watching. Bye.